Welcome to Trauma Pero No Drama with KSV. Join Manas, Karina, Susie, Vanessa every week as we share stories about life, family, trauma, drama, and everything in between. What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode with your favorite mana.
Me,
Obviously, I'm the one speaking.
Oh.
Anyways, I'm your favorite. Appreciate it. Thanks for all the love. And these other two pues, they're here for moral support.
Yeah.
I think I keep the entertainment.
I'm okay with being a backup dancer.
Anyways, so let's get into today's episode because I don't know how I feel. I'm the one that came up with the idea and now I'm really regretting it. Get it.
Pun intended.
Get it. So I thought it would be fun to talk about things that you regret in life or that you would do different if you went back in time.
I think that a lot of people have regrets, I think.
I don't know if regret's the right word because if I had to do my life all over again and I did everything exactly the same way, I wouldn't be angry. I wouldn't hate it.
You think so?
I think so.
So if un duende llegaba y te decía, if you take this pill, you get to do it all over again.
Yeah.
You would still choose and live the life that you've lived up until now?
I don't know. That's a really good question. I don't know if I would. But I'm saying if something came, El Duende, Fairy, El Diablo, whoever.
Yeah.
If they came to visit and then just snap, you're back in time, not knowing that you're getting an opportunity to start over, you just get sent back to your starting point, whatever you think that is. And I did everything exactly the same. I wouldn't be mad.
Are you saying it in the aspect of your memory would erase and you didn't know what you know now?
Yes.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. I wouldn't be mad if I lived this life a second time the way that I've lived it.
Okay.
But if I knew, knowing what I know now, and got back in time, would there be things that I did different? I wonder. Something that I would have done that I didn't do that would have changed my life entirely was getting into the military. Coming out of high school, I wanted to go into the Army. And I went for the testing, I went for the exam, and everything was good except for my weight. And I couldn't gain the freaking weight. No matter what I did, I couldn't gain it. I was really tiny. And I just couldn't gain the weight. And the recruiters would make me go in every week and weigh myself. And they had me on this high-carb diet. And I just couldn't lose the weight because I had a really high metabolism.
The gain.
Uh-huh.
You said lose.
Oh, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I think it was okay, we're just going to kind of stop for a while and then maybe after a few months. And at the time I was dating my husband and I told him this is my plan. This is what I need to do. I'm going to need to, gain weight, but I am going into the military. And he basically told me that he wouldn't wait for me because that was one of the questions is would you wait for me? Because, you go away to boot camp and then you end up being active for 2 years or whatever it is. And he said that he wouldn't wait for me and that I basically needed to make a choice if I wanted a life with him or if I wanted to go that route. And I had to make a decision. And I remember when I went in to do the exam, I felt really homesick, really homesick. And I was in Chicago, bruh, for one night. But I think I was so used to being around family. 5 kids in the house. It was always loud. You always have someone there with you.
Yeah.
And it felt so off. So between him telling me that and me thinking about how sad and lonely I felt that one night by myself, I felt like I wasn't going to be able to do it. But now, grown, sometimes I do wonder, what would my life have been? ¿Cómo hubieran pasado las cosas?
Yeah.
Si me hubiera ido.
So do you feel like that's the one thing that you regret, not going?
That's why I'm saying it's kind of hard. I don't know if regret's the right word. I think it would have been cool.
Yeah.
I think it would have been something like for
once in a
myself. Yeah,
Yeah.
once in a lifetime experience. I think it would have shaped me way different than how I am.
That's crazy to think about. I knew back then that you were wanted to go to the military, but I never knew why you didn't go to the military.
Do you know why I wanted to go?
Why? To get away from the house?
A little bit, but not really.
Why? You wanted to travel?
No. I wanted something big to make my mom and my dad proud.
Okay.
Like, I felt like they would be, like, super proud of that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they would be.
But it didn't work out because the life it wasn't meant to be.
I think that there's a lot that I would change, but como dices tú, I don't know if necessarily if I could go back in time, I would change anything, like in particular for me. I mean, knowing what I know, I would. Not knowing, I don't think that I would.
Eh.
Yeah, like if I were to go back knowing what I know now, there are things that I would change. Like if si llegara a ese punto de mi vida that I know it's like pick one, there are things that I would pick differently or do differently. But if I were to get sent back not knowing what I know, no creo that I would pick anything differently. I think I would do just the same. Pero no sé. No sé. That's a really good... Because I feel like a regret, como tú, it's a very strong word.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a super strong word.
Yeah.
What about you, Missa?
I don't know. I'm thinking.
About something that you regret?
I don't know. You got me off guard.
Or maybe not regret, but like, I guess what's one big thing? Not on the topic of regret, but like if you had the opportunity to do your life over again, just for fun, one thing you would do or wouldn't do.
I personally, I don't know if this falls into that, but I think the one thing that I would do differently is to try to stop people pleasing, like at a way earlier age.
Yeah.
What is that? Like, what do you mean pleasing?
Like people pleasing is something that I struggle with. And that I've gotten pretty good at within the last year at like stopping. But it's basically cuando pones the needs of other people before yours. Like at the cost of your, at least that's what I see it as, like at the cost of your emotions or your feelings. Or como dices tú, like if you don't like to have conflict, maybe like apologizing for it, even though you feel like you're not in the wrong, but you just don't want to have that burden of conflict, and maybe like taking accountability for something that wasn't. Or if someone's like, hey, I have to go somewhere, can you do this for me, even though you probably already have plans, and you're like, oh yeah, like of course, you know what I mean? Like putting other people's needs before yours or before you. And it's not necessarily that I don't like helping people, because I do, pero I don't know. A lo mejor is that I would want to pick up on when people are taking advantage of my kindness. Maybe that's what I would change. Because I didn't learn to pick up on it until way later into my adult life, when people were like just using me for kindness.
Yeah.
So I think that's the one thing that I would change if I were going back in time.
That's so sweet and humbling.
Why?
I was thinking more like I would have lived my life up. And I know, like, for me, it looks different because you guys did do stupid shit. But, like, I legitimately never did anything, like, insanely crazy.
Yes.
Like, the worst thing that I did was...
Skip school.
Skip school or, like, work late but end up going to a baile. And that was, like, 2 times. And both of the times the baile sucked anyway. Or we got there when it was already closed. So, like, it wasn't really, like, a big experience. And I think if I were to start over in life, it would be to stop trying to grow up so fast. And I don't know if that came from being the oldest, from feeling like you had so much responsibility, from seeing like our mom be such a young parent that you're just like expected to follow that, even if you weren't told that, but in your mind. I don't know, but I would have tried to enjoy my life,
Live a little more.
yeah, and not be so quick to hurry up and get a family and be a mom and do all the things. I would have, I don't know, party, travel the world, do anything. Because like one of the things that I thought is that I want to have my kids young, so I'm not too old to be able to do things when I'm older. But you don't realize that you're going to struggle the same. whether you do it in your 20s or you do it in your 30s.
Yeah.
They're just different struggles.
I feel like now it's like with work, you have to balance like the work aspect of it, making sure that even though your kids are grown, they're taken care of and they have all their expenses taken care of before you can, I guess it's pick your poison on when you want to experience life. I can see how that makes sense because I was definitely a wild child.
Yes, you were.
So I feel like I've lived way more than you. Like I probably have way more experiences under my belt. But I definitely do agree with you that I think it's because you're the oldest one. I think that there's a lot of older children out there listening to you probably thinking the same thing, that they didn't get to really live because they were always being the third parent. And I think that you as a person, you were always trying to set a good example. Even maybe you not doing it purposely, or ¿cómo se dice when you're like vicariously? No. ¿Cómo se dice when you're unsubconsciously? What's the freaking word?
I think I know what you're trying to say, but I can't. You got me all messed up.
Sin querer queriendo.
I think it's subconsciously.
Yeah, sin querer queriendo. I think you always wanted to set a good example for us.
Yeah, that was
Did it work?
No.
Well,
No.
I wouldn't have woken up in a cornfield if I did, but...
Side story. I think, yeah, a lot of it was subconsciously that I wanted to make sure, because there was so much pressure on being so good in every time, like my mom would tell me like she was so proud of me because I was doing so good in school and this and this and that. And I felt like I had to make sure that I kept that up. One, to make her proud, because for some reason I was always so asphyxiated on making her proud of me, but also because I knew that all of you guys were watching, right? And I remember bawling my eyes out one night when I had already moved out and there were some issues with like our brother getting in trouble, right? Because he was a naughty kid.
Still.
Right. He was a naughty kid doing dumb things and hanging out with the wrong people. And I remember crying and saying that it was my fault because I wasn't there. It really wasn't on me because I wasn't the parent. And but I felt really guilty for moving out, living my life, and not being there to be able to help with all these things. So when like I would hear about our brother getting in trouble or like Vanessa getting bullied in school, like I would cry because I felt so guilty that I wasn't there.
I feel like a lot of that though was instilled because not only you felt that way, because even me after I married and I moved out, it's something that I would talk about with Ivan because he always said like, dude, you don't live with your mom, but it's like you're still there because you're still handling everything for her. You're still handling the things with your brother. You're still handling like doctor's appointments for her, like scheduling things for her. He's like, it's like you're gone, but not really.
Yeah.
And I felt a lot of that guilt too, but I think it was my mom not purposely putting that burden on us, even though we were gone. Because she would call and she would be like, oh, this, and this happened. And of course, you feel bad and you're like, well, let me help you as much as I can. But I feel like every time that I did that, every time that I got that phone call at 2 a.m, 3 a.m, I gave a little bit of my soul away. And I was starting to carry burdens that were not mine. I was starting to carry burdens that were keeping me awake when they como dices tú, like that, I was supposed to be living my own life.
Right.
So I think that maybe accidentally my mom kind of burdened you with it, and that's why you felt that guilt. Or maybe she'd used you to like vent, and then that burden just kind of like fell on you, where you felt like you had to do something to help.
Maybe. I don't know. Like I said, side story, because it just reminded me of those moments where like you do have that guilt, and maybe it is an older sibling thing, or maybe it's just the way that Latino families support one another, especially when you have immigrant parents that don't speak the language, that do need a lot of help. And whether you like it or not, as a child that grew up here, that knows English, that can translate, maybe not great. Maybe you don't know the right words, but you have to figure that out. And I think that definitely plays a role.
Yeah. Going into that really quick, yo siento que a lot of the people in our motherland, wherever it is, think that when you are raised here or you are born here and they think that you live a great life. They think that you have a marvelous life with this big house and you're taking these extravagant vacations. But as a first generation kid, I think that people who grow up in the motherland have it so much better than us kids who grew up here. Like I feel like we struggled way more than kids over there did. Like even with our cousin, like when we talk, when we hang out, we're talking about kid. He's like, I would go here, I would play till the sun came down. Like I was always with cousins, and I feel like we never got that childhood because I mean, a lot of the times we were staying home by ourselves because parents had to work. We weren't allowed to open the window, open the door, let anybody know we were home alone.
Don't breathe too loud.
Yeah, don't talk.
Don't answer the phone.
We weren't really allowed to go out as younger kids because uno nunca sabe. Mm-hmm. Like immigrant parents are always worried for like if the cops see you, they're going to ask questions and then that's going to lead to more questions. Mm-hmm. And we just have it harder here as a first generation. And not only that, but we grow up way faster because como dices tú, we're translating, we're scheduling, we were clerks before we even knew it.
For real, I think you bring up a good point because even just the sense of belonging, right? Yeah. In Mexico, when you're surrounded by the town, everybody looks like you. Yeah. We didn't have that. No. Everybody looks like you. Everybody speaks like you. Mm-hmm. Everybody has a similar culture, similar family background, dynamics. And here, just again, the sense of belonging. I feel like it took me a long time to feel like I belonged where I was. Yeah. So yeah, that makes sense. We need to hear from Vanessa though because she's awfully quiet over there.
I know. Vanessa's still trying to think of a regret. No, she knows her regret. She just doesn't want to say it on air. It's okay, Manda. You don't have to say it.
No, it's because I don't know what. I'm still thinking.
Do you feel like you lived your life to the fullest before you got married?
Vanessa, her evil ass smile.
No. Well, yeah, no. Maybe I do. It's because I don't want to call it regret. Maybe I should have hold on getting married so young. But again, if I do regret it, I wouldn't have my kids.
Right. That's why I'm saying like maybe regret isn't the right word because again, everything happens for a reason and we have what we have because of the life that we lived. But in a fantasy world, if you had the opportunity to live your life all over again, like what would you, even if it's just something for fun, what would you change? And for me, it's, I wouldn't have gotten married so young because I would love to travel the world.
Hold on. Is it not getting married at all or maybe like held off on having kids and then experience that with your husband or did you want to do that solo?
Nah, I'd be solo.
Okay.
I don't need to pay for a second plane ticket. Girl, bye.
Mm-hmm. Well, for me, I like my company. I would want, and you
have attachment issues.
I have attachment issues with my husband, so I would. Yep. I would still marry him.
He loves it, but
I would still get married. I would want to like experience like club. Well, not clubbing, but like more life before having Josie. You know what I mean?
I would have been a hoe.
What a fabulous idea. Oh, you know what I would have wanted? I would want to go back and make all of us single and age appropriately able to hang out and then go putear a los clubs together.
Yeah, let's go.
And now we can't. We finally like each other and we're all old enough and now we can't.
This is true.
That's the one thing I would change. Because I never got to hang out with you like that. And I never got to hang out with you like that.
Now we're too old. Ya nos truenan las rodillas. Bueno.
A unas nos truenan las rodillas.
A la youngest le truenan las rodillas.
Sí. But we do experience sometimes when we go to the jaripeos.
Well, yeah.
We end up babysitting. One of us.
Babysitting.
I am not
Alguien de aquí no sabe tomar.
You guys know what's coming up? The
jaripeo.
Our yearly jaripeo adventure.
Ay, Dios nos libre.
Dios nos libre, nos acompaña a todos. But anyway, Vanessa, back to your things that you would
refocus.
Change. Do you think, I know one thing that you would want to go back and do. I think that you would want to go back and finish school because you're always talking about that. Mm-hmm. And I think another thing that you would want to do is focus on yourself.
I love how you are answering this.
It's because we all three of us share a mind.
Yeah, I think that's my biggest regret también. No, not finishing school and not
Focusing on yourself. Letting,
and-
like, I feel like she regrets losing herself. And, like, she lost her identity. You feel like you lost your identity when you got married and had
Dang,
kids.
that's dramatic AF.
I lost my glow. I lost my shine in my eyes.
Yes, look at her. They're soulless right now.
Yeah.
They're soulless.
You look at my eyes and you see a very deep.
I see a skull.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I wish I
Maybe?
maybe. No, like yeah, like I wish I would have finished school and would have continued my dream, what I wanted to do. Now it's too late because I'm too old to do it.
You're never too old.
You're going to live to be like 80 to 90 years old. That means you have how many years left to go? You're
Right, but
not too old.
Right, but remember a couple of
Your short-term memory loss?
Yeah,
Well, then work at it.
like
Fix it.
like maybe I want to go back to school and what I wanted to be growing up. Maybe I don't want to do that anymore. Like maybe I want to be a cop. That seems like a cool job.
Bad boys.
What you gonna do?
What you gonna do when Vanessa comes for you?
Dude, I'll be pulling you guys over and giving you guys tickets for no reason. I'm just kidding.
Wow.
She would be the one to ruin my perfect driving record.
For real. She'd be at the corner of your house waiting.
Mm-hmm.
Wee, wee.
So, Mana, I have a question for you. Mana Karina.
I don't like when you guys do that. You make me nervous.
So you're saying, Nani and Alia, this one's for you. So you're saying,
They're not going to listen to this.
I'm going to tell them to tune into this
Fake
episode.
fans.
Fake fans. I'm going to beat their ass. You're saying that you would want to go back in time and change and have a wilder life, have a wilder, like, teen experience.
Hey.
So are you willing to let your girls have that?
Yeah.
You're willing to let them have that experience of waking up in a cornfield?
Okay. No mames, güey. Tampoco que te pases.
That's part. I feel like you need to have those experiences.
Vanessa, did you ever wake up in a cornfield? No.
Did you ever get in the car with a stranger danger that you didn't know and you just ended up like in another town?
Excuse me?
No, you guys didn't do that?
With someone you didn't know?
Yeah, it was like a friend of a friend of a friend. Mm-hmm. A friend of a friend of a friend. And then end up like in another town.
That's how girls get raped. Pendeja.
We were in a big group.
Yeah, we were in groups.
We were
That's how orgies happen.
like 13 in the Oh my gosh.
I'm just
Me persino. So would you let your girls have that? Would you let them, like if you found out tomorrow that Daniela told you like, Mom, I didn't stay late for that tech thing I told you about, but I went to like this club and got crunk and got really fucking drunk. Would you be mad?
yes, because she's not even 21. I'm saying do it when you're supposed to be doing it.
Oh.
Rocks throwing all over the place.
Bitches. And don't be giving them no freaking ideas either.
Huh?
Daniela, you are not allowed to not be at tech when you say you're there. Wait, did I say that right?
You are not allowed to lie to your mom because I will find out and I will find you.
We will find you.
Yeah.
I'll wax your pits. Oh, it's painful. I can't hit her, so I gotta do the next painful thing.
How do you know you're old when you come up with shit like that?
Wax your pits.
Yeah,
Talking about wax, you haven't waxed me.
I know. We'll talk about it off air.
Yeah, for real.
My gosh, nobody wants to hear that.
For real. Chewbacca over there.
Oh my god, I hadn't thought about that. You know what? Talking about Chewbacca. I forgot what I was going to say about Chewbacca.
It was just funny.
Yeah.
It was just funny to say.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of another regret that I have. But one thing that I'm trying to do, that I decided to do, I don't know.
You gave us nothing.
Huh?
You just gave us nothing.
What do you mean?
One thing that I wanted to do that I didn't want to do, but I don't know.
That's how it works up here, okay?
No, it started off talking about Chewbacca and getting us sidetracked.
And she still gave us
See?
nothing.
You guys, stop judging me. I've been trying not to get hung up on the should-haves. Does that count as a regret?
Yeah.
I've been trying not to get caught up in that. Like me right
Guys.
now in this moment. What?
Go ahead, finish your thought.
Me right now in this moment, I'm going through something that I don't want to talk about right now. Maybe one day we'll sit down with a drink and talk about it. But I'm going through something right now, and I've realized how much I get hung up on the should-haves of things.
Yeah.
And I had a conversation with myself the other day in the car.
In the mirror.
Yeah, basically, actually, I was looking at myself in the reflection of my phone when it was in the little docking thing. I was just telling myself, like, bitch, get it together. We really have one life. Well, you can go through multiple personalities in that life, but you really only get one life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's so easy to get caught up in the what, like, I should have, because that was the conversation with myself that day in the car. I was like, I should have done this. I should have, done this. I should have. And I realized that shit isn't going to do anything for me.
It just makes you feel worse.
It's just like it was making me feel way worse than what I already did.
Mm-hmm.
It was echándole sal a la herida, literally. And I was just like, I myself need to stop with the should have, because this is it. These are the cards that you're dealt. And if you are ever going to see the light at the end of the tunnel, the should haves are going to stay like where they are. And you're just going to make, I'm going to do this. I'm going to, travel. I'm going to go get that tattoo on my nalga I've been wanting. Just giving you a warning.
It's a penne pasta.
But yeah, so anyway, I don't know.
I 100% agree. Okay. For the record, I agree 100%. I've always said that you can't live your life based on regrets, and because you can't change it, right? You can't do things different. You really can't. But you can't look at it from a negative perspective. I wanted this episode to be funny. Like, I would have been a hoe. I would have traveled the world.
Well, you should have elaborated.
But I didn't. But we got into it. And I'm just saying, I agree with you. I don't think that you should live on I should have, could have, would have, because that doesn't help your life.
Yeah.
Always think positive. I'm going to do this like you said. I will achieve this. So, yes. But this episode turned into not what I was imagining.
Okay, well, if you
want
want to talk about funny things, I would have not became an alcoholic at like 14.
You were not an alcoholic at 14.
You're right. I wasn't an alcoholic. I know how to control my liquor. You all need to have a little more hope in me. I would have, partied it up a little more than what I did. I probably, should have played the field a little more, spice things up a little.
Oh.
I probably would have. Maybe I should have made more friends, because I'm a little loner now, except for you two. But
I don't have friends.
I have more friends than Mesa, so I guess that's a plus.
Yeah. That's okay, Misa.
Your
kids are your friends.
When you
okay.
say you wanted to be a
hoe,
do you mean
mama?
Do you mean in the aspecto of like multiple boyfriends at the same time, or like play the field?
Ooh, all of it.
Like the full experience?
Trying to like manage multiple.
So you never did that?
Like in the telenovelas?
You never did that for real? Like you never...
No. I told you I was really boring. I was a good kid.
Girl, I wish I was closer to your age when you were growing up.
I know. I would have really lived life.
You would have... Girl, let me tell you. Let me tell you all the fun that you would have had. All the fun that would have been had.
Sad face.
Mana...
Qué triste vida.
Déjate, te toco la canción on the world's smallest violin.
Womp, womp. That's why I said this was supposed to be a fun episode.
Oh.
And then we got all weird.
It's que you wanted to talk about regrets, and I was trying to think of all the things that I regretted in my life.
You didn't clarify.
You should have been like, bitches, this is supposed to be funny from the very beginning. And then I would have been like, oh, I got you.
Sorry.
Let me tell you about the time.
I should have been more specific.
Let me tell you about the time that I snuck out of town, you guys, not my house, town, and I had to pray on the way home because my mom was blowing up my phone. Woof! I regretted that day.
Oh shit!
Mm-hmm.
Did you get your ass beat?
I got a cachetada across my face.
You did?
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah. I think my mom was
Just
fed up with
one?
my bitch ass. Yeah, she didn't even know what to do.
That's why you had to turn off your phone.
No. I would never do that to Licha. She kept calling me and I was like, estoy aquí en la luz de la Walmart. Walmart out of town. But that is all the time that we have, you guys. I guess a story for another day.
I guess.
Make sure you guys come back next week.
I live all my would have been adventures through your guys' story.
Vicarious.
Like I just when you guys talk about those stories about
She's
like how
imagining
you
herself.
woke up in the field, yeah, I imagine myself like, oh wow, oh yeah, that would have been bad. Oh yeah, I would have been pooping my pants. Anyways, all right, guys. Well, sorry that this episode turned out to be not as hilarious as I imagined it in my head, but hey. Think about what you would do different
Yeah,
in life.
and
Just for fun. Don't ¿cómo se dice? Dread on it?
Don't dwell.
Don't dwell. That's the word. Don't dwell on it. But
Yeah, and if you have an idea, make sure you elaborate your idea.
Perdón.
Clearly, we were not all on the same page.
Lo siento, manas.
Okay, that's all the time we have.
Okay, bye.
Ivan's about to the camera. Okay, bye.